beautiful day. Oh, there's a butterfly. Hi, this is Miss Sharon and Scruffy. Welcome to Ridgeview Kids Club. We are having a wonderful walk, right, Scruffy? What are some of the things we've seen so far? Animals, right? What else did you see over there, Scruffy? Butterflies, right? And what do you hear? Birds. Yes, it is a beautiful day and such a great day for a walk. Well, today we are going to tell you about a time that someone in the Bible went on a walk, and on that walk something happened that changed his life forever, right, Scruffy? Can you tell me who we're going to talk about today? Saul, right? Well, our Bible story today comes from the book of Acts, chapter 9. And in our story, we're going to learn about Saul. And Saul went on this walk one day, and on the way, his life was changed forever. Right, Scruffy? Okay, so our story today comes from the book of Acts, chapter 9. And Saul was someone who wasn't very nice, was he, Scruffy? He wasn't very nice, was he? Can you tell me what he did? He was a bully, right? Okay, so who was he bullying, Scruffy? People who followed Jesus, right? And so Saul was someone who was persecuting and arresting the followers of Jesus, right? So he went to the leaders and he asked for permission to arrest the followers of Jesus in the town of what? Damascus, right? So he had a letter in his pocket that gave him permission to arrest all the people that were following Jesus in Damascus and bring them back to Jerusalem, right, Scruffy? So Paul and some of his friends started on this walk, and they saw their sign and they were on their way from Jerusalem to Damascus, right, Scruffy? And so as they're walking along on the road from Jerusalem to Damascus, all of a sudden, something happened. There was all of a sudden a bright light from heaven. Put your shades on, Scruffy. A bright light from heaven, and a voice from heaven that said, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" Well, Saul answered and said, "Lord, who are you?" And the voice said, "I am Jesus, the one you are persecuting. Get up and go into the city of Damascus and wait there until you are told what to do." And so that's what happened. But when Saul got up, he couldn't see, could he, Scruffy? He couldn't see. And so that's why you're going to be Saul right now with the blinders on to show that you couldn't see. So Saul and his companions and his friends walked into the city of Damascus, and Saul was blind and he couldn't see, could he? And for 3 days, they ended up, he wouldn't eat or drink anything, and he was praying. And all of a sudden, there was a man who also lived in the city of Damascus, and his name was Ananias. And he had a vision from the Lord, and this vision told him to get up and go to the house of Judah on Straight Street and pray, go there and pray for the man named Saul from Tarsus. And Ananias had heard about Saul, and he knew that Saul was coming to arrest Christians, so he was afraid. And the Lord assured him, he said, "Go do this because I have chosen Saul to be my messenger." And so and at the same time, Saul also had a vision that he was supposed to wait for a man named Ananias to come and pray for him. And so Saul was waiting there. He was praying. Ananias came to the house where he was staying and walked in and prayed for him and said, "Brother Saul, I am here to pray for you and restore your sight. The man named Jesus, who you were persecuting, wants to fill you with his Holy Spirit." And that's exactly what happened. So when Ananias prayed for him, all of a sudden Saul could see. The scales fell off his eyes, And he got up and he ate something and had something to drink, okay? He was hungry after 3 days, wasn't he, Scruffy? He had something to eat and drink, and then he immediately started doing what, Scruffy? Yes, he went and started preaching about Jesus, right? He went to the synagogues in Damascus and he started preaching about Jesus. So instead of arresting people and putting them in jail for preaching about Jesus, all of a sudden Saul started preaching about Jesus and telling others about him, right, Scruffy? And this reminds me, I think you have something in your pocket today, don't you? Okay. This reminds me of something you brought something today, and I know you wanted to show everyone. So at the beginning of our story, Saul's heart was hard, wasn't it? Okay, kind of like a rock. Okay, so Saul's heart was kind of like this rock. It was hard. He was arresting people. He was persecuting people who loved Jesus. But at the end of our story, Saul's heart changed, didn't it? So now you can see that his heart, here's this rock that's now shaped like a heart, okay? His heart changed, okay? And he became someone who loved Jesus instead of persecuting him. And he started sharing with everyone about God's love and what Jesus had done on the cross, and that Jesus loved people and wanted to save them, right? And so Saul was changed forever that day on that walk on the way to Damascus, wasn't he, Scruffy? And God ended up using him to tell people all over the world about Jesus, right? Now, that was a great story, Scruffy. Thank you for helping me tell that. Now, what we're going to do right now is I think we should do something. What do you think, Scruffy? We should pray, right? Okay, well, let's go ahead and pray and just thank God for the way God can change our hearts, just like he changed the heart of Saul. Dear Lord, thank you so much for the way you changed Saul's heart on that walk to Damascus, and that he became a follower of you and someone who loved you and started telling people everywhere about Jesus. Lord, I thank you that you can change our hearts too, and pray that for each one of us, pray that you would work in our heart and change our heart to make it a heart that loves you and is willing to tell others about you. Thank you so much for the gift of your son, Jesus, and thank you for your life-changing love. In your name I pray, amen. Okay, thank you, Scruffy. Well, should we finish our walk? Yes, we should. We're gonna go off. Bye-bye. See you next time.